The history of crime in the United Kingdom is filled with names that continue to shock the world: serial killers, gangsters, and ruthless criminals whose stories are remembered with fear and fascination. But behind many of these infamous figures were women wives, lovers, mothers, and accomplices whose lives became forever tied to the darkness. Some of these women were victims of manipulation, others were blinded by love, and a few became just as cruel and dangerous as the men themselves. Our stories reveal not only the power of influence, but also the chilling truth that evil can often come in pairs. One of the most notorious examples is Myra Hindley. Alongside her partner Ian Brady, she committed the Moors murders in the 1960s. Hindley lured children into traps, proving that she was not a passive observer, but an active participant in some of Britain's most horrific crimes. To this day, her name is remembered as one of the most hated in the country. Another chilling story is that of Rose West, who, with her husband Fred West, turned their home into a house of terror. Rose was not only supportive of Fred's crimes, but was often more violent than him. Their partnership created one of the most infamous killer couples in British history, leaving behind scars that will never be forgotten. Then there were the women connected to the feared London gangsters, the Kray twins. Ronnie and Reggie Kray ruled the East End underworld during the 1950s and 60s. To many, they were ruthless and violent criminals, but to their partners and mistresses, life was a mix of glamour and fear. Some women defended the Krays as misunderstood men, while others lived in silence, trapped in relationships where leaving could cost them their lives. But not all women behind infamous criminals were killers. Some were mothers who refused to believe their sons capable of violence. Others were wives who chose denial, convincing themselves that the wealth, power, and luxury were worth ignoring the truth. Many were victims themselves, controlled, abused, and silenced by the very men they loved. The stories of these women leave us with difficult questions. Were they manipulated by dangerous men? Or did they willingly choose the path of crime? Were they victims of circumstance, or just as guilty as the criminals they stood beside? What is certain is that behind the UK's most infamous criminals, the women in their lives played a crucial role. Whether as accomplices, enablers, or silent sufferers, their presence shaped some of the darkest chapters in British criminal history. And their stories remind us that crime is never just about one person. It is about everyone who lives in its shadow.